I'm Kristen.
And I'm Lauren, and we are Intense Adventures.
And we want to give you a walk around of our 2019 Jeep Wrangler JL Rubicon. Her name is Lola. Quick backstory. The name Lola came from a German movie where the main character had neon orange hair, and, well, if the shoe fits, I guess is what you say. First, we've got the Arb Bumper. This one has actually been really nice for our purposes, and one of the things that we like about it is it holds our worn winch on the inside, so it keeps everything nice and protected. And then it's also got pre-built in from the factory these mounting points right here, so you can attach your high lift jack right here if you need to jack or have a jacking point. Worn winch, we've got the flat link from Factor 55 as well, all about safe recoveries. We have the Blue Ridge Overland gear bag up here that's got our recovery strap. It's a really great place to keep that strap, handy and accessible if we need it on the trail. To finish off the front nose, one of the questions we get asked a lot is about these wires up front. They're called limb risers. It's some cheap Chinese thing that we got off Amazon, but it's actually really great because of the slope and the pitch of a Jeep windshield. Helps keep tree limbs from smacking into the windshield as you're going down the trail. So we've got currently the metal cloak lift on here. We're actually getting ready to change that out into an ARB Old Man Emu suspension kit, just because when we originally put this lift on, it was before we had all the extra weight from the fridge and the rooftop tent and all that extra gear. So at this point, this lift, which is really designed for rock crawling and that kind of stuff, it's taken a bit of a beating, and we need to put something a little heavier duty underneath it. For tires and wheels, we're running the Falcon Wild Peak tires. What we ended up settling these tires was because their price point is A, very reasonable, B, they've got great off-road performance, and C, this is also my daily driver. I'm not a quiet vehicle to begin with. I've already got a ton of crap hanging off of me that's gonna make a lot of noise. So having a tire that, you know, minimizes that as much as possible, I certainly appreciate. And again, the price point, it's really hard to argue with these. Highly recommend these. And then again, we've got the fuel wheels holding those tires. We liked this revolver look. It kind of made Lola look a little, you know, a little tough. She's tough. These are actually light mounts from Maximus 3. It's a Detroit-based company that we really like. The cube lights, it's Harbor Freight. They work just fine. I'm a big believer in spend money on the places where it matters. You know, buy a high-end winch. Don't count on Harbor Freight for your winch. But for your little light on the side, you can save a few bucks here. The other thing we have hidden back here is a Midland USA radio antenna, and this is for our GMRS radio. These ARB rock sliders, they extended out too far for a traditional step to work. So this is actually a more mountain off-road step that we took to our local welder and metal fabricator. He chopped it up and made this big foot paddle and blade for us to stand on, and it then retracts back up to the Jeep once you step in. And there's actually a couple of grenade pins on the bottom of it, so when we get to the trail, we can pull the pins, the whole thing comes off. We have an Arb Dual Compressor that we actually have mounted underneath of our passenger seat. It comes on a system. It was from a company at the time that was called Innovative JK Products. They're now Innovative AT Products, but they make this mounting plate that's really nice, and they also sell this kit so that we have mounting ports for the hoses for the tires to mount in both here and in the same place on the driver's side seat. So here we are. Let's look at our tent. This is actually an Area BFE tent. It's actually the same tent that's sold under labels like CVT. High-Vis Overland sells a version of this tent as well. So there's a bunch of different options for basically this exact same tent on the market. But there's a couple things we've done to ours to make it unique. And the first we got to talk about is these struts. And I need to pause here because these struts come from a guy named Brad at High-Vis Overland. And I would be remiss if I didn't include in this video the importance of shopping from small businesses and supporting small businesses as you do your builds. So quick plug for Brad at High-Vis. He's the guy who figured out how to take some other commercially available struts, modify them to make a rooftop tent mount for them. And these struts can now hold significantly more weight so that all the cargo in our tent can be supported safely and securely. In the center, you'll see that we have our Merlin solar panel, and that provides us with the ability to recharge our auxiliary batteries while we're at camp, while we're parked. We can take advantage of the sunshine, recharge all of our electrical systems. It's a really important piece of kit. If everybody doesn't have one of these, you need to buy one. And that's not just because it comes from Blue Ridge Overland Gear. They are my buds. I do love them. But you need one because you need to pick up your crap. Basically, Lauren and I spend half of our trips every time we go out packing out other people's garbage and trash. Last weekend, we carried 3 full trash bags worth of things out of the field, including curtain rods and curtains. I'm not sure why you're leaving your curtains and your curtain rods in the woods, but it'd be great if you couldn't. That's why Blue Ridge Overland Gear had to make this extra large tire trash bag, just so that I could carry your trash out. So buy one so that I don't have to carry your trash, and then they don't have to make a big bag. This is the Outback Adventure Products tailgate table. It replaces the factory black plastic that normally sits back here. It's got a nice bamboo cutting board. We actually store our cheap plastic IKEA cutting board in here too. And then a nice stainless steel cook surface, easy to wipe down and keep clean. Then we've got the Goose Gear set up in the back. I gotta give it to the guys at Goose Gear. They do it right. It's expensive, but boy, is it a game changer. We went from having boxes and bags and totes and plastic and junk everywhere and never feeling like you made it 6 minutes down the road before you lost something to everything has its place, all the time, every time, and that's really nice. Finally, to kind of round out the major stuff here, we've got the Dometic CFX 35 fridge. Been really happy with this fridge. It is on the Goose Gear slider, so that allows us to pull the fridge all the way out. And then mounted to the front of the fridge, we have the Camp Cook Kit from Blue Ridge Overland Gear, which is pretty sweet because we can open it up and have access to all of our kitchen utensils while we're sitting here cooking. So I can just turn around, grab whatever I need to cook and, do the little shuffle dance game. All right, last thing we got to talk about when we're back here, and I just installed this, and I'm going to humble brag on myself because I'm pretty proud of it. This bottom part right here. So the Goose Gear system ends from here down, and this part we built ourselves using T-slot aluminum. It's the exact dimensions of the Goose Gear, and hidden behind this wooden faceplate that we made is a 170 amp hour AGM battery, along with a DC-DC charge controller that has an MPPT solar input. That's all a bunch of alphabet soup, but basically what it means is that we can charge our battery while we're driving using the alternator, but when we're stopped and we don't have the alternator running in the car charging the battery, that solar panel we talked about earlier, zzz, magic, keeps the battery charged, so we've got power on the go. This switch over here is what controls the actual power to the tent. So turn it on, suddenly the lights and the ports up in the tent have access to power, can power our light strips so that we can cook at night and have nice ambient lighting. It's from Kick-Ass Products USA. They're actually a brand new company to the United States market. They've been in Australia for years selling their products. Highly recommend checking them out because they're a great alternative option, particularly because that's 170 amp hour battery. It's not this big, brick of a thing that we're used to when we think about big batteries. It's actually only 4.5 inches thick. It's a long, slender battery, so that gives you a lot of flexibility for mounting it in a vehicle like this. And then again, on our blog, we've got detailed instructions if you want to build something like this in your own Jeep JL. All right, so welcome into the palace, the cave of wonders that is the inside of Lola. On both sides, we have these bags that we got off Amazon. They're some cheap Chinese thing. I'm not going to pretend it's anything other than that. So on this side, we have things like toiletries and our raincoats. On the opposite side, we keep things like towels and our fan for when it's hot in the summer. We also have clipped to the outside here our toilet paper dispenser because, sometimes things happen. And talking about things happening, ladies, you know how you're jealous? What guys can do and you can't do? It's called the P-Style. Google it, check it out. It's gonna change your life. Also back here, we've got the Blue Ridge Overland Gear attic. We use this to carry sheets, pillows, backpacks, other miscellaneous junk. Moving over to the back seats back here, we've got some more bags and organization, including more bags from Blue Ridge Overland Gear. Lauren is a firefighter EMT, so she's all about having good first aid and medical equipment. I don't know what most of these things do. This is definitely her area of expertise, but she also likes and appreciates having a nice big bag to carry all that medical stuff. We've got the Blue Ridge Overland Gear snack Cheez-It pouch thing. We use it to carry, miscellaneous stuff like little handheld radios from Midland, USA. So we also have a holster back here for a gun. We do sometimes for personal safety carry a weapon with us when we are off-road, but in this environment, definitely not needed. And certainly got to emphasize if you are carrying a weapon off-road, make sure you've got it safe, make sure you know what you're doing and are carrying it in a safe and responsible manner. So welcome up here to the captain's chair, front, helm of the ship, if you will. So a couple other cool things we got to point out up here. And one of them is this really itty bitty top secret thing that I'm gonna let you in on. And it's this little itty bitty light that we've got over here on the passenger side grab handle mount. It's actually flashing right now, and that light attaches to our DC-DC solar charger. And because it's flashing right now, I can tell you without looking at anything else that our solar panel is bringing in electrical power and recharging our battery for us. Finishing off the tour of our cockpit here, we've got a little mounting system that holds our GoPro and then a magnetic mount so that we can hold things like our cell phones as we go down the trail. We also have some additional like visor storage, things that have been really nice, but one storage place that we really have appreciated in our front is this platform. It's a metal frame system from Mole Platform Solutions, and it does require a little bit of work to install it, but once you've got it in, you've got this really rigid, nice mounting point to attach accessories. So we've got things like a Leatherman tool, that Midland USA GMRS radio we talked about earlier is up here. We also have our CB radio up here, and then all of the appropriate handsets and wiring for it. So once again, I'm Kristen.
I'm Lauren.
And we're Intense Adventures. Be sure to give us a follow on Instagram. That's intense.adventures. Or you can hit up our website. Again, if you want any of those reviews or the walkthrough instructions from some of the things we talked about, those are all on the website. That's intense-adventures.com. Be sure to give us a follow. We appreciate it. Much love. And don't forget to pick up your trash off the trail.